Welcome to this explainer. We're jumping right into a foundational, and let's be honest, kind of confusing concept in organic chemistry. If you're building up your class 9 or 10 chemistry foundation, you've probably stared at a textbook and wondered, why on earth do chemists use completely different formulas to describe the exact same thing? It feels like someone's just trying to make things overly complicated, right? But I promise you, there's actually a brilliant logic to the whole thing. We're going to solve the mystery of this missing information, figure out why these different formulas are absolutely crucial for understanding the chemical worlds, and realize why mastering this is literally step one before you tackle IUCAC naming later on. So let's tackle this core question right out of the gate. If both formulas represent the exact same substance, it feels like one should be plenty, right? I mean, if I tell you I have a car, I don't need to give you two totally different descriptions of it. But, well, in chemistry, atoms behave in incredibly complex ways. Relying on just one type of formula, it's kind of like trying to build a house when all you have is a pile of lumber and a list of materials, but absolutely no architectural blueprint. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the formula mystery, move into decoding molecular formulas, then unlocking structural formulas, put them head-to-head in the ultimate formula comparison, and wrap up with why does structure matter? All right, part one, the formula mystery, and some basic definitions. At its core, a chemical formula is just a really handy shorthand for representing a substance using symbols and numbers. It tells us exactly which elements are hanging out together and how many atoms of each are there. Take water, for instance. We all know it as H2O, right? Meaning 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. Or methane, CH4, 1 carbon, 4 hydrogens. Think of this as chemistry's basic inventory system. But as we're about to see, this simple inventory doesn't even come close to telling the whole story. Which brings us to part two, decoding molecular formulas, or decoding the ingredients. You can think of the molecular formula as your basic ingredients list. By definition, it shows the actual number of atoms of each element present in just one molecule of a compound. It tells us exactly what is in the box. But here's the catch, and this is super important. It hides a massive secret. It gives us zero clue as to how those atoms are actually connected to one another. It's exactly like knowing your recipe calls for flour, eggs, and sugar, but having absolutely no instructions on whether you're supposed to be baking a cake or making cookies. Let's look at methane and ethane to see what I mean. Methane is CH4, so 1 carbon, 4 hydrogens. Ethane is C2H6, 2 carbons, 6 hydrogens. Now, these molecular formulas are neat, they're tidy, and they give us the exact counts of our atomic ingredients. But they give us absolutely zero clues about the bonds forming between these elements. Are we looking at single bonds, double bonds? How are those 2 carbons in ethane actually holding hands? The molecular formula is totally silent on all of that. Let's move to part 3, unlocking structural formulas, the real blueprints. Now this right here, this is the blueprint. A structural formula shows the physical arrangement of atoms and the specific bonds between them in a molecule. It completely solves our missing information problem by mapping out exactly which atoms are connected to each other and exactly what type of chemical bonds exist between them. So if the molecular formula is the ingredients list, the structural formula is your step-by-step instruction manual. Okay, let's look at methane again, but side by side this time. The molecular formula, CH4, just gives us the raw count, right? But when we expand that into a structural formula, wow, it clearly reveals carbon as the central atom, sitting right there in the middle, attached to 4 surrounding hydrogen atoms through single chemical bonds, which are those straight little lines you see. Suddenly, you can actually visualize the molecule's physical shape. Now let's jump over to ethane and see how this builds. That molecular formula, C2H6, leaves us totally guessing. But the structural blueprint beautifully illustrates the reality of the situation. We instantly see that the 2 carbon atoms connect directly to each other right in the center with a single bond. And meanwhile, the 6 hydrogen atoms are distributed perfectly evenly, with each carbon firmly holding on to 3 hydrogens. You literally see the architecture of the entire molecule. Let's head into part 4, the ultimate formula comparison, molecular versus structural. Looking at these side by side, the contrast is just brilliant. A molecular formula is simple, it's short, and it's perfect if you just need a quick calculation of your raw materials. But it completely hides how things connect. A structural formula, though, that gives you the detailed, complete architecture, making all those hidden chemical connections clearly visible. Basically, molecular tells you the raw materials, whereas structural explains the intricate, 3-dimensional architecture of the molecule. To really hammer this home, let's look at ethene. The molecular formula is C2H4.
Now, if you just looked at that, you might naturally assume it's just a smaller version of ethane with some single bonds. But boom, the structural formula instantly reveals a massive secret. Those two carbon atoms aren't just holding hands, they are double bonded to each other. That double bond completely changes the chemical properties of ethene, and honestly, you would never even know it existed if you only looked at the molecular formula.
Okay, final section, part 5. Why does structure actually matter in the real world?
Picture this. You're working in a chemistry lab, and someone hands you this single molecular formula, C2H6O. That's 2 carbons, 6 hydrogens, 1 oxygen. You'd probably think, okay, this represents one specific, unique substance. But actually, that assumption is where the real mystery begins, and it's exactly why organic chemistry relies so heavily on structural formulas.
Get ready to have your mind blown just a little bit here. That exact same ingredient list, C2H6O, can build 2 entirely different things. If you arrange the atoms one way, you get ethanol, which is an alcohol. But if you take those exact same atoms and just snap them together in a different order, say putting the oxygen atom right in the middle between the 2 carbons, you get dimethyl ether. That's a completely different chemical compound. In fact, it's a gas at room temperature. Without the structural formula to guide us, there's absolutely no way we could tell them apart on paper. Let's practice this together so it really sticks in your brain. Think about propane. Step 1 gives us the molecular formula, C3H8. That's our basic inventory, right? 3 carbons, 8 hydrogens. Step 2 shows us its structural chain arrangement, a CH3 group attached to a CH2 attached to another CH3. We can see exactly how the carbon backbone forms this continuous chain. And this is a skill you'll use all the time in organic chemistry, especially once you start naming these compounds using IUPAC rules. Now for butane, we do the exact same thing, we just extend the logic a bit. We take our molecular ingredients, 4 carbons and 10 hydrogens. Then we just string them together into a longer structural chain. So we have a CH3 at both ends and 2 CH2 groups right in the middle. We are essentially just reading the architectural blueprint from left to right. Simple, right? To sum this whole thing up, the molecular formula tells you exactly what atoms are in the box. It's beautifully simple, sure, but it hides the bonding arrangement. The structural formula, on the other hand, tells you exactly how those atoms are connected. It provides the exact arrangement and shows you the chemical bonds, serving as your ultimate instruction manual. And as we saw with ethanol and dimethyl ether, it explains how completely different compounds can actually have identical ingredients. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. That crazy phenomenon of building different structures from the exact same ingredients, that's called isomerism. So think about this. As molecules get larger and start having dozens of carbons and hydrogens, how many totally unique chemical structures could you possibly create from just one single set of molecular ingredients? It's a massive chemical puzzle, and it's exactly what we're going to decode next time. Keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.